Thank you, Madam Chair. And I know I went over a couple minutes last time. I'll try not to overstay my welcome here. Mr. Calhoun, going back to you for a question. In looking at other investigations done by OAWP, it seems to me that only about 2% of OAWP's investigations result in a disciplinary action. Does that statistic sound about right to you?
Thank you for the question. So if I could just expand on that just a little bit to give you some perspective. So if we go back to fiscal year 21, 38 of our recommendations for discipline resulted in disciplinary action being effectuated. During that same time frame, fiscal year 21, 33 of OSC's investigations resulted in disciplinary actions being implemented. So I think there needs to be some context added to that when we start talking about percentages. But to give you an idea, there's probably about 3% of our investigations that result in disciplinary actions, but many times that result in some type of recommendation. We make recommendations for both disciplinary and non-disciplinary actions. Our non-disciplinary recommendations also result sometimes in discipline being taken, but we leave that up to management's discretion as opposed to our authority to recommend disciplinary action, which has an oversight provision in it for Congress. So Congress gets notified if we make a recommendation for disciplinary action and it's not taken by the VA.
Okay, but just to be clear, when we talk about disciplinary action, that's not necessarily termination.
That's correct.
It could be something as mild as a written warning or counseling or something like that.
Yes, sir. And if I may, so going back to March of 2019, we've received 35 allegations of whistleblower retaliation from Loma Linda. Of those 35 allegations, 11 resulted in investigations, and 5 resulted in recommendations for disciplinary action. Of those 5 recommendations, 1 was fully implemented. On 3 of those events, the employee left the VA before it could be implemented, and on the 5th, no action was taken by the VA.
Okay, I don't know if that gives me comfort or it further alarms me if you're telling me 50% of your investigations of my facility in my district resulted in disciplinary action. But you know, the point obviously is even if it's 3% and not 2%, you know, to me that's a little alarming because, you know, if we're telling these whistleblowers who are coming forward, you know, at great personal risk to themselves and their reputations and feeding us information, if only 3% of the time their information results in you know, action, disciplinary action being taken, you know, that's not very reassuring to them. And so just with the time I have left, Ms. Collier, if I could give you a platform, if you could just tell us briefly, just in case there are whistleblowers watching, and I hope potential whistleblowers watching, and I hope that there are, can you tell us how a whistleblower would report retaliation to you and to the VA?
Absolutely. I'm happy to speak about how whistleblowers can come forward with a retaliation claim, at least to OSC. We have multiple ways of filing a complaint. We recently launched a new web filing portal that I think makes the experience quite a bit easier. There's a lot of education built in about what it requires to pursue and to prove a retaliation case under the statutes that we enforce. So whistleblowers are welcome to go to our website and review those materials, fill out a complaint, which is then processed by OSC's Case Review Division. They're doing a very quick, like a few days check to make sure that we have jurisdiction over the allegation. And then from there, the case is assigned to the appropriate sort of programmatic unit in OSC, whether that be our disclosure unit where they're alleging wrongdoing or they're alleging a prohibited personnel practice like retaliation. And from there, they have sort of a stable point of contact, an OSC attorney that they can talk to as issues arise, if they have questions about the process, and we work our way through our investigation.
Right, so if they think they've been retaliated against, they go to OSC, fill out an online form, and the case is investigated. So what is that URL? Is it something that we can tell people, you just Google it?
Yep, osc.gov, and there's a big green button that says file a complaint.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and thanks to all of our witnesses. I've enjoyed your testimony today. I yield back, Madam Chair.